Hey guys, Pretzelman 945 here. Welcome back to the video. This is just going to be a pretty quick video today, but I watched a video this morning from Joey, the Anime Man's second channel, where he went over a Japanese news article. His channel's one of my favorites to watch when he does that. Um, about like Shonen Jump magazines decreasing in circulation. He was kind of talking about how like has physical magazines and manga die. And so what that gave me the idea for a video to talk about why I prefer reading manga physically. Now, to be completely honest, I have never bought a Shonen Jump magazine simply because the idea of a format like a magazine having just like one chapter from multiple different series, it doesn't really sound that appealing to me. Um, I'm very glad for the people that buy them because, I want physical manga to continue existing for as long as possible, considering how much I love reading it more. But for the purposes of this video and conversation, I will be exclusively talking about um physical volumes, which I have some of them here, as I'll explain in a second. And yeah, let's get into why I prefer reading manga physically. Now, there are a few reasons why. Firstly, I feel I should cover why I prefer to not read online. And that is because of a few reasons, the biggest of which I think is because I have severe ADD. If you don't know what that means, it is not the same as ADHD, although they are similar but different. ADD just stands for um attention deficit disorder. I forgot the word disorder in that for a second. It stands for attention deficit disorder, which is essentially the same as ADHD, but it's less common because of the fact that like there isn't as much of like a hyperactive bit, and because I have severe ADD, it means that whenever I try to read manga on a website or my phone, less so on my phone because that's like a smaller screen where I can concentrate on it a little bit more, but especially so on a computer, it makes it very hard for me to do so because I get very easily distracted by like I especially if I happen to have Discord open while I'm reading manga on my computer, I get quite easily distracted by that. Um and this happens as well like when I'm reading physical volumes. Like I'm not gonna completely BS that and say I don't ever not get distracted while reading physical volumes because it does happen, but it's much less common for me because I have something like I have a thing that I can more easily focus on with a physical volume. Um and um and so therefore I feel like the first main reason that I prefer reading physically to digitally is that I'm able to immerse myself a lot more in the story and not be nearly as distracted as if I tried to read on a website. Um and the second big reason why I prefer reading manga physically is because of the fact that I love the physical experience of reading it. I love the way that turning the pages feels. And you saw me just a few seconds ago use this volume of Pun Pun as an example. I also have one, oops, nearly fell off my desk. I also have one of Vagabond here and also one of my favorite volumes of Berserk to demonstrate kind of examples. And and like it's going to be a little bit hard to actually show on the camera, but for me, like, you know, especially, with this case, like Kun Kun, flipping the pages and just following the dialogue, it feels so much more natural and immersive to me. Especially like in a moment where I'm going to switch to this Berserk volume for this because there is a fuck ton of double spreads here. So like for for example, in this volume we have stuff with Ganishka, and then if you turn the page, assuming I get the page turner right, it's gonna hard to demonstrate on camera. But then boom, you turn the page and then there's a double spread. And this happens like a gazillion other times in this volume because this is just a goaded volume of manga, and it happens like a gazillion times with the amount of double spreads that are in it. So, like, another example here is like you just heard and then you see this, and it's honestly just incredible. I mean, like what this one does with double spreads, I could rant about that a lot, but I think my point is like hopefully very clear here that like the physical act of turning the pages, especially with like key double spreads, as all of these volumes that I've picked out have, are just perfect examples of that. And here I'm gonna try and find one in Vagabond here. Don't know if I'll be able to here. I picked this one because it's the start of Sasaki Kojiro's backstory. Which okay, I'm not really seeing any double spreads, but I think I can still like get the point across here. So like man, I forgot how beefy the peaches to these were. It's so nice quality the printing. So like, you see this and then like obviously it's not gonna come across on camera very well, but like you see all of these different just landscape panels, like and obviously with Vagabond, like the art is so beautifully detailed, you can just take in the detail so well. And honestly, that's kind of that's kind of like a third reason why I love reading manga physically is because of the fact that especially with some of the manga that I have here, like Berserk and Vagabond, which both have my favorite art in all of manga, there is just this way to like really like I'm gonna try and see if I can find a similar point to where I was. Here we go. Yeah. So like, this point here with like a full single page spread like this, like when I read this, I can really like almost feel the water that he is standing in. And I feel like you just can't have that type of immersion when you read digital manga. Um, and it is for all of those reasons why I vastly prefer to read physical manga and why I really struggle to read manga in any form that is not a physical volume because it just does not have nearly the same value or experience for me. But this was just my opinions in a very quick video here. Please let me know what your own opinions are regarding how you prefer to read manga, whether physically or digitally, and why that is. And for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.